students, from the previous video we are discussing about what do we study in political theory. We discussed some part of this point in our previous video, and we will start our discussion from para 6. But is all this? So dear students, let's start this video. But is all this relevant for us now? Have we not already achieved freedom and democracy? While India is free and independent, questions regarding freedom and equality have not ceased to crop up. This is because issues concerning freedom, equality, democracy arise in many areas of social life, and they are being implemented in different sectors at different places. For instance, although equality may exist in the political sphere in the form of equal rights, it may not exist to the same context in the economic or social sphere. People may enjoy equal political rights but still be discriminated against socially because of their caste or poverty. Some people may have a privileged place in the society while others are deprived even of basic necessities. Some are able to achieve whatever goals they set for themselves, while many are unable even to go to schools so that they can have decent job in future. For them, freedom is still a distant dream. Dear students, politics is changing day by day. No doubt, fundamental rights are given by our constitution. Every citizen of India is independent now, have freedom to decide what he want to do. All the citizens of India are equal before law, and there is a democracy system in India. But there is a question: what is the real democracy? And is every Indian is equal in every sphere of life or society in India? The answer will be no doubt no. Why? Because in when we talk about politics, then every citizen in India has equal political rights, has right to vote, right to get justice. But in practical life, we face a different type of conditions in which we see that still some people, some societies, or some downtrodden persons are far away from liberty, equality, and some other justice-able rights. So, dear students, all the persons are equal when we talk about politics, have equal rights of politics. But still there are some persons in society who are totally downtrodden, unequal in the sense of economy or social sphere. So what we observe in our society, that some of the people who are rich, are affluent, or have high connections, enjoy all the rights. They enjoy all the right and they achieve all the targets in their lives, whatever they set for themselves. While other people, especially the poor from the society, could not enjoy all the types of freedoms, equality, whether that is political or social. Even you may see some people who are unable to get proper education, proper facilities of their lives. That's why number of questions arises in our mind, and we feel that laws or uh, fundamental rights must be amended. Why? Because some instances, some examples are before us when we ask ourselves such questions. Some are able to achieve whatever goals they, and some are unable to get even primary educations. But government is still trying to provide them even basic facilities like primary education, that is a fundamental right for every citizen, and government is doing its best to provide all the facilities whatever students need in their childhood through that government scheme. Secondly, though freedom is guaranteed in our constitution, we encounter new interpretations of all the time. This is a bit like playing a game. As we play chess or cricket, we learn how to interpret the rules. In the process, we discover new and broader meaning of the game itself. Similarly, the fundamental rights guaranteed by our constitution are continually being interpreted in response to new circumstances. For instance, the right to life has been interpreted by the courts to include the right to livelihood. The right to information has been granted through a new law. Societies frequently encounter new challenges which generate new interpretations. The fundamental rights guaranteed by our Constitution have been amended and expanded over time through judicial interpretations and government policies which are designed to address new problems. So, dear students, the second thing is that our constitution provided us fundamental rights, and those are mentioned from article 2 to 35, article 12 to 35. And out of these six fundamental rights, there is a right to freedom. But we see around us that those fundamental rights, especially right to freedom, they are interpreted daily. All the persons are trying to change the definition of fundamental rights, definition of fundamental right to freedom, according to themselves. And they are similarly giving their definitions also. For example, when we play some games like a cricket, hockey, or other game, then we know how to violate a law without being caught or without being punished. And we understand in this process, we understand the weakness and strength, strong point and weak point of that games. Similarly, fundamental rights which are guaranteed by the constitution to every citizen are interpreted by some high profile persons, not by the poor. So that's why there is always need for a change according to circumstances prevailing in the present society in our fundamental rights. And no doubt, government and the judicial system of India, they are trying their best. Time to time, they are making amendment according to the new problems, new circumstances arouse in the society. For example, right to life has been interpreted by the courts to include the right to livelihood. There was firstly right to life, but later it was observed that without right to livelihood, right to life was useless. That's why court, courts included that right to livelihood is the basic structure of life, right to life. That's why some changes were made. And again, the right to information has been granted through a new law. It means when it was proper time, and the government felt that every citizen must have right to information, what is going on in the country, and what is going on the central government, and what is going in a particular department of the government. So they provided the citizens right to information. So I think the fundamental rights granted by our constitution have been amended time to time to satisfy the new and prevailing situations in the society, in the country. Thirdly, as our world changes, we may discover new dimensions of freedom as well as new threats to freedom. For instance, global communications technology is making it easier for activities to connect network with one another across the world for protecting tribal cultures for or forests. Dear students, it is thoroughly stated that as the world is changing day by day, so there are possibilities for the new dimensions of freedom. There are possibility to decide freedom time to time. Similarly, there are some threats for the freedom also. For instance, nowadays this is the era of technology, and every country is making progress in technology at a high speed, and global communication technology is making it easier to connect all the world, all the leaders of world class to each other, to protect some tribals or forest areas, because tribals or tribes, they are special in their customs, in their behavior, in their society. That's why they must be protected, as some modern and western cultured people try to disturb their culture, and that's why government made some laws to protect that tribes as well as for or forest. But it is also enables terrorists and criminals to network. Moreover, internet commerce is all set to increase in future. Dear students, internet communications are good, as they are connecting the world for the betterment of the world. But the negative side of this is that it is also beneficial for the terrorists, who can also connect their fellows, and they can also locate the position of every place. That's why this is negative point, this is threat to our freedom. This means that the in fact information we give about ourselves online to buy goods or services must be protected. It means whatever information we share online through different forms or our activities, like when we purchase something, we share our accounts, we share our personal details. So all these things must be protected from such scrupulous persons who can misuse that information. So even those netizens, especially the word netizens means the citizens of internet who use internet too much. They are called netizens. Do not like government control. That's why it is said that netizens do not like government control, because there is total government control over the communication or over the technology or internet, and government keep a tight protection over all these technologies. They recognize the same, sorry, they recognize some form of regulations is necessary to safeguard individual security and privacy. But the citizens of netizens argue that only some basic rules or safeguards are important or necessary for the security of individual privacy, but not so many rules. As a result, questions are arise regarding how much freedom should be given to people using the net. For instance, they should be allowed to send unsolicited emails to stranger. Can you can you advertise your product in chat room? So, dear students, a question arises after the argument of netizens that only some regulations must be there, but not so many. So, this is a question: how much freedom? How much freedom, or freedom up to what extent, be given to the netizens or the persons who are using net or using technology? Should they be allowed to send unsolicited emails to strangers? Should they be allowed to send emails to strangers? Can you advertise your product in chat rooms? So, there are some questions regarding the freedom of technology, freedom of communication, freedom of internet chat. Should governments be allowed to read private emails to track down terrorists? There is one more important question, that should government had control or had right to read the emails, messages of private person of any citizen, so that they may disclose the terrorists, they may uh, arrest any terrorist, or they may prevent terrorists to make any terroristic attack. How much regulation is justified, and who should regulate, governments or some private regulators? But more question: how much regulation is justified, or who must be the regulator? So this is the question, that either government or any private body or any constitutional body, which of them must be responsible for having regulations, for having control over the technology or over communicating devices or over internet? Political theory has a lot to teach us about possible answers to these questions and is therefore very relevant. And these answers, which are very difficult to answer by any common people, political science, political theory deals with all these possible answers. That is why it is very important, it is very necessary to understand the political situations which are present around us and which are continuously changing and setting some new definitions of fundamental rights and control. So that's why we are studying politics to make our understandings better. So, dear students, in this class, we completed the topic what do we study in politics. In next class, we will study putting political theory to practice. So, dear students, you must watch this complete video to understand the topic well, and also do like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.